Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, June 14th, 2019, and it is the Binance apocalypse. I haven't talked about crypto for a while. I mean, not specifically cryptocurrency or the cryptocurrency market. Obviously, I was pretty heavy in the game a year or two ago. At this point, I'm not in the game at all, really. I follow a couple of teams. I'm actually a member unofficially, or I guess I was officially a member of one of the teams for a bit, but just because of my situation with my life, I just can't really do much crypto. But it's interesting to see that once again, all the exchanges, all the centralized exchanges are closed. Cryptopia went down. Binance is now eliminating all traffic to the US. Some vloggers were pointing out you could still use a VPN. Sorry, I'm by an airport, it's loud. You could still use a VPN and use Binance. But what's prompting this forced closure of US traffic to Binance is KYC. The American government wants your money. The American government has always wanted your money. Interestingly, the whole point of crypto, the whole point of the white paper of Bitcoin was to ensure that the American government could not get your money. That's why Bitcoin exists. Satoshi Nakamoto's original vision was to take away that power of the government and give it back to the people. Since the institution of the Federal Reserve in 1913 or 1912, depending on how you want to look at that, the government has controlled the price of currency. They've controlled the flow of currency, and therefore they've controlled the entire economy. It's one of the most brutal forms of fascism that has ever existed on our planet, and yet it's just business as usual right now. And that is why Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin, to try and take that power away from the government. And watching these centralized exchanges repeatedly fold one after another, which should come as no surprise, just goes to show how powerful the U.S. government is at this point. They can even reach into other countries and shut down private businesses in other countries. That, I mean, Cryptopia was in New Zealand, Binance is in China, right? I think, and the U.S. government can control and stop and basically end those private businesses in other countries. It's the exact opposite of Satoshi Nakamoto's vision for Bitcoin. In fact, most of the crypto market is the exact opposite of the vision. The vision was to free people, and instead, through speculation and greed and just rampant short-sightedness by most of the people involved, crypto has become yet another tool of oppression for large banks. Whether you're talking about Ripple, or whether you're talking about all the KYC at all the American exchanges, Coinbase, Kraken, Bitrex, it's really too bad. It's really too bad that this is the way that it went. We could have a solution. It's possible. It's possible that we could have decentralized exchanges. I mean, we have decentralized exchanges right now. There's Crypto Bridge, a handful of other decentralized exchanges, or DEX, as they're frequently called. Binance is also closing access to their DEX for US traffic. And again, this is all the federal government, the illegal and unconstitutional federal government, trying to put their jackboot on the neck of the American consumer specifically, and actually the global consumer in every country just as well, which is nuts, and effectively doing it, very effectively doing it. And it's not just the economy, although when you control the economy, what else really matters? But it's everything. It's the media. The U.S. government has funded most of the social media platforms Facebook, Google, Apple. Most of these are just basically arms of the covert government at this point, whether it's the CIA or NSA or whatever. They've all received millions of dollars in seed money from the government, and they all report back directly to the NSA and the CIA. So the government controls money, they control most of the internet, they control all of the physical space in the country, in every state you live in. And yet, people have the audacity to think this is the land of the free and a democracy. It's, a democracy where you can't use money that's not constantly being stolen from you and extorted from you through inflation. Even if you don't pay taxes, you're still having your money stolen from you by the government through inflation, which is like 2% or something. And by the way, there's no way to not pay taxes. Whether it's, when you go and buy goods and services, you're buying goods and services from other people who are paying their taxes. So, a huge portion, even if you pay no income tax at all, you're still being taxed at a rate of like 20% or something. When you pay income tax, also, you're basically paying taxes at a rate of 25 or 30%. And then, the people have the audacity and gall to think that, the taxes are the price of a civilized society. What civilized society? When LA and San Francisco and Honolulu are overrun with homeless camps and tents in every park full of people who just, can't survive, and cops are beating people to death and tasing people to death in the street in every state. It's not just in California, where it's probably the highest incidence, but California has the most population. That's just, one aspect. I mean, it's happening here in Hawaii. Cops tased some guy to death, some drunk guy to death on the Alawai. The video just came out recently. It was from 2 years ago, but the video just came out just recently. And it's like, that's the civilized society. We're going to pay hired thugs wearing polyester to murder people in the street with a taser. That's the civilized society we pay for. People say, well, what about the roads? The roads are garbage. The roads are garbage here in Hawaii. The roads are certainly garbage in LA. There's no good roads in LA. I mean, you drive around LA, you're going to need new shocks real quick. And it's the same here on Oahu for sure. I'm sure it's the same in most parts of the country. Terrible roads. It's like the government's taxing your car through the DMV and through gasoline taxes and 20 other ways. They're taxing your house through property tax. They're taxing your income. So if you have a job, you're paying them. They're taxing everything else you buy, all other goods and services you buy through sales tax. And then they're taxing you anyway through inflation, through an insane monetary policy run by an illegal and unconstitutional Federal Reserve. It was set up in a dirty backroom deal in 1912. So it's been 107 years of a corrupt, illegal, unconstitutional economy we've had in this country. And now they're extending that control into the crypto market too, which is the exact opposite. I mean, the whole point of Bitcoin was to get out from underneath the government jackboot, at least with monetary policy. And now all these centralized exchanges and everything have just turned it right back around and made it just as bad as it ever was with actual cash. Anyway, I haven't said too much about crypto for a while. As a technologist, I was excited about it. I'm still excited about the potential, but it's literally the opposite of what it was supposed to be used for at this point. I'm here at White Plains Beach. I'm going swimming, and I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I really don't at this point. How do we rebel? How do we resist? How do we fight a giant unconstitutional and illegal Federal Reserve? Federal government. I mean, the whole thing at this point is so immoral. Our government builds robots to murder children in the third world. Our government separates children from their parents in this country, in the United States, all the time. Yeah, I don't know. People talk about gold and silver and owning guns, and it's like, okay, you know, it's good for you. I can't disagree with any of that. But what a drop in the bucket in an ocean of corruption and criminal enterprise, of extortion under government jackboot. Happy Friday, everyone.